is enough, and it's time for a change.
Are you ready?
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah! Get some love! Ooh, yeah!
With Kinny Killa.
Hey, yo! We're in the big D tonight, baby! And we are live! Woo!
I'm the gal them sugar shook.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! The Stone Cold said so!
Oh, son of a bitch, if you just heard the glass shatter, that's right, your right ear is ringing and your left ear is stinging because it's the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast, episode 131, right here on the VOC Nation, and I am the man of the hour, too sweet to be sour, the one man with no Instagram, Kinny Killa. Now, people, we have a great show for you today. As normal, we're going to go through pay-per-view, Night of Champions, go through Raw, talk about the fallout from both of those. We're also going to go through NXT. And then also, we are going to go through Shook Stunners, Segue Time Machine, RIP SmackDown in 60 Seconds, the 10 count, and track of the week. So, let me introduce you to my guests, because you know I always have them. I don't do this shit by myself, obviously. Returning with his Belmont banter, that's right, it is James Belmont.
Hey yo.
Hey yo. Also, we have a debutant on the show today. It is none other than Shinsuke Nevs Amura. That's right. It is Nevs Coleman.
Watcher, hello. I'm Nevs No Days Off Coleman. How you all doing tonight?
No days off.
I just marked out a bit.
Yeah. We're doing great now that you're on the show. Welcome to the realm of the Sunday Segue. How have you been, Nevs? Nevs, you still there? You still there, mate? We're having some technical difficulties, I believe. Belmont, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
You're still there. That's great. So we're just gonna have to wait until Nevs comes back. So I'll turn this over to you, Belmont. I think you threw a bit too much banter last night, and I think you got a little bit drunk.
Oh, too much banter, too much booze. Scott Hall be jealous. I was celebrating Tottenham's win from about 3 o'clock, and then I was watching rugby. I was slammed some there, and then we lost to Wales. Fuck you, Wales, by the way. And then I slammed down about another 4. So yeah.
Intervention, man.
You went in.
Mistake and like Kevin Nash on some documentary about guys who've been wrecked by wrestling.
Wrestling ruined my life.
That was me after Sting lost the Night of Champions, man.
Oh man, I bet you threw the chair at the TV, innit?
Something, yeah, stuff flew.
See, we were arguing on Facebook about it, and who turned out to be right, Belmont? Who was it? Can't hear you. I think it was me.
Well, he's silent, so there you go.
Yeah, right.
It says itself.
I'll stop listening when you mention Facebook.
Oh, people, this is going to be a fun show. Let's get into it. Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. Make sure you check out our website, the Sunday Segue Podcast.wix.com/Sunday Segue. Also, follow us on Twitter. It's at Sunday Segue. Segue spelled SEGUE. We're coming up to the 2,000 followers mark, so make sure you keep following us, people. Also, write some stuff a bit. We got Belmont, we got the rest of the Seg heads, the core group. They message in. Make sure the rest of you message in too. Leave some comments. You know how we do. Follow us on Facebook. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're on iTunes, Podomatic, Stitcher, and don't forget to download that Double Twist player. You should know what that shit is by now. Right. So shout outs. Again, Seg heads, we're gonna do shout outs, but if I can't fit you in, sorry about your damn luck. I will fit you in next week. All right, so shout outs to that's at WTG YouTube Games, also Wrestling Kings, that's at Wrestling_Kings, that heel turn guy, that's at heel turn mic drop. Gotta give a shout out to our guest from last week, Tom Brady, now one of the core group. Shout out to Tom. Also shout out to the returning Anthony Lavelle. I ain't heard from him for a while, so there you go. And last but definitely not least, shout out to at WWE Positive, that's Positively Wrestling. Belmont, any shout outs?
The Offshoot Crew and Steve Borden. Hope you get better soon.
Pigeon Patrol. Also want to ask Nevs, any shout outs?
Me, I got 2 shout-outs. I got to do a shout-out to my friend Dan O'Shaughnessy because he sorted me out the Rev Pro tickets for next week, which is like Nakamura versus Big Damo and Okada and Liger and Tanahashi, and it's going to be amazing. And he just was like, oh, I got you some tickets. So thank you, Dan. I know you're listening, or you will be. Other shout-out was going to go to Gary Vanderhorn, who runs Lucha Britannia over in Bethnal Green. He keeps on inviting me down to watch the show for free. I promise you, Gary, I will come down whenever I get a Friday off in my life.
I like those shout outs, you two guys. I'm sure that Nevs will tell you about the show. So I'm going to extend an invitation to both of y'all. Anytime you want to come on the show, just holler at your boy and you will be on. I'll get all 4 of you on together. You can duke it out.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I want to give the shout outs to our partners in crime, business partners in crime. That's maxwrestling.wix.com/Max Wrestling. Make sure you check out the current issue with our interview with none other than former WCW Cruiserweight Champion Evan Courageous. Also want to give a shout out to Podcast About Nothing, Mark and Brad, our brothers from VOC. Also Attitude of Aggression podcast and Badass Wrestling podcast. So let's kick into it. Fallout from Night of Champions, guys, and Raw. So Belmont, Night of Champions, Rollins does double duty. We expected that. We know he can do it. And again, it's more time to showcase the skills that Rollins has. What did you think of the double duty and the way that both of them were booked and the fact that it was back to back?
I like the back to back because, as you said, we know he can do it. The most talented guy there. The first match with Cena, as good as I thought it'd be. The second match, it was all right up until the table spot. Mm-hmm. And then it all just started to fall apart quite quick. But it was pretty good. That was definitely the highlight of the whole show because the rest of it felt kind of like a glorified Raw. So.
Mm-hmm. Nevs, one thing that's been kind of bothering me is the way that Rollins is portrayed on Raw and then the way he's portrayed on pay-per-view, because it's 2 different things, 2 different guys. You know, he doesn't take no shit on the pay-per-view, but on Raw he seems like a little pussy. What's your thought?
Well, my thought is something that CM Punk said on his interview with Colt Cabana, that he was really insulted that he'd been asked to be the TV feud for John Cena. And I think Rollins has gone, all right, I'll be the TV feud for John Cena. And I think Cena's probably got too much sway in booking how his opponents run against him. Mm-hmm. So I think, like, the TV writers are going like, yeah, Rollins is just going to run away from Cena because he's a little bitchy guy who's scared and stuff. But when it gets to pay-per-view, that's when he needs to look like a strong contender. So he can't be doing any of that, like, wow, John's going to beat me up, or I need Jamie Noble or something. So I think there's too much disparity between how things are written for, like, TV and how it is for pay-per-view.
It's such a bipolar product. I hate it. I mean, Cena wins the US title, like you said, Belmont. Good match. I really thought it was a really good match. But I pose this question to you. Should your champion be pinned twice by the US champion? You know, he lost to him on Raw as well. Should that be happening?
In an ideal world, no. But to be fair, I don't think Rollins should have won the US title in the first place. Mm-hmm. Because it was pretty pointless. He couldn't defend it in that 4-week period, so what was the point of him holding it?
Exactly.
And Raw lost a huge segment in the open challenges anyway, so, you know, I'm not going to complain about him winning the title back. I just don't get why Rollins won it in the first place.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm not too fussed about... I mean, to be honest, I prefer Cena with the title because he's, you know, brought it up. But the one thing that just bugs me is that the way they are having, you know, Rollins just kind of just jobbing out and just tapping out to, you know, your secondary in you know, in
like a mid-card title.
Yes, yeah. It doesn't make him look strong. Nevs, in terms of Sting put up such a good match. He massively surprised me. You know, 56 and all, it doesn't really matter as long as you got it. But the bumps he took, man, very surprised, and it looks like he's going to be injured for a while.
I gotta be honest with you, and I know Belmont's gonna kick off at me at this, so let me say all the words I'm gonna say first, James, before you get like your steel chair aimed at my head, right?
It'd be a baseball bat, but carry on.
Yeah, that'll probably break halfway through the fight as well. Right, the time for Sting to be challenging for the world title was when Hunter was doing his reign of destruction between 2002 and 2005. When Hunter was like, basically, Austin had gone, The Rock had gone, Shawn was barely back. Hunter plowed through, who'd he go through? Jericho, Angle, Benoit, Booker T, and Rob Van Dam. Buried them all, right? That was the period when he buried them. It was because he didn't think they could they would be people who you could be the face of the company, right? Sting was a guy who could have been that face of the company in 2004. They got him in then. Sting versus Hunter, and Sting defending the title against all challengers would have been a big deal. But because Hunter ran wild with Goldberg, let him do the Wigberg stuff, made him look stupid on Raw, and then just buried every other WCW talent who wasn't one of Hunter's mates, like Nash or Hall or X-Pac, I could see why Sting didn't want to come back. But 2015, Sting is not the man in that picture. Obviously, I don't even know what the deal was that Steve signed, because it must have looked like, yeah, you're going to come back for Survivor Series and wave a baseball bat at people. Then you're going to show up at No Way Out, or Fastlane, what was it called, and have a chat with Hunter. Then you're going to lose to Hunter at WrestleMania, and then you're going to job out to Seth Rollins. I was like, oh yeah, sign me up for that. That's going to keep my legacy going. In all honesty, if he had challenged for the US title, which means more to him as a WCW alumni, that would have had some respect for it. Cena could have won the world title and had a world title challenge, putting on the same quality matches, and there would have been a bit less, like, awkwardness, because you can see even after Rollins has been pulverized in that match with Cena and takes the FU just before starting the match, he's carrying Sting like he's crap luggage, and like Sting shouldn't be there because he isn't in like any kind of fit form to be doing it, and I don't want him to be burying his like legacy of being a really shit hot wrestler by just Kevin Nashing his way around the ring and hoping he doesn't hurt something.
Well said, sir. I like the cut of your jib.
Thank you, Dad. It's fine, Jim, and I've cultivated it for years.
Oh man, that was nicely put. I hear a rebuttal coming from one James Belmont.
No, he was right on most accounts, apart from him being carried, which he wasn't.
Yeah,
no,
right.
he wasn't carried. He performed well below his years.
You watched the Botchamania video of that match, and you watch Rollins having to basically talk him through it like Damien Sandow talking Ric Flair.
No, he probably allowed him to call it. He's the fucking champion.
Yeah, but it's like, it's so obvious he's having to tell him, right, you're doing that now. Do you need a minute to think about it? All right, okay, on you go, mate. Yeah, don't hurt yourself. It's fine. It's just horrible. It's like watching Mae Young versus Brock Lesnar.
Oh, really?
That's a bit far-fetched. I know.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
a little bit.
I take that comment
he's
for
in good
comedic
stead,
purposes.
you make good points, and you say something stupid like that.
I take it for a comedic effect. I like that shit. All right.
Saying that about him going for the US title instead, that would have worked for me.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, you had to have some kind of nostalgia fix with him, and the nostalgia fix is you're right, is the United States title. I'm going to piggyback nicely on the fact that they're trying to bring it back, and it is kind of brought back to some kind of fruition, but they need to be doing that with the IC title too. We'll get there. We will get there, people. Sting out for a while, not sure how long for. So hopefully you rest well, Sting, and come back soon. Go into the Hall of Fame. You might as well now. You've had a good career. You've touched base in the E now, so you've done what you had to do, my friend. Right, Kane.
Do we have to?
We do.
It's too early in the morning for this shit.
We do. I know. But one Glenn Jacobs has decided to return, not as an agent, but actually as the masked Kane. So he returns, I believe, at the pay-per-view at the end. And I mean, did you see that coming, Nevs?
I saw something coming, because it seemed to me like the Sheamus finish was going to be too obvious, right? I was like, because nobody really wants Sheamus to win that Money in the Bank thing. I don't think anyone cares what Sheamus does in any context. And they're aware of that, and they've just kind of gone, we're going to have to work around this. Oh, wait, people have been clamouring for Masked Kane, and it's coming up to Halloween, so we can sell some Kane masks on the website. Send Kane in. So, yeah, I thought that was a good job, to be honest, and I was quite happy he showed up. I thought it wasn't going to be a straight Sheamus thing, but I wasn't convinced entirely it would be Kane.
Okay. I wasn't too sure what was going to happen. Like, it made sense for Kane, I mean, all these people started talking about, mystery partner for Reigns and them is going to be fucking Kane. Didn't make any sense whatsoever if it was Kane. No sense to link him with the Wyatts, nothing to even be a babyface. But obviously it links with Rollins. So
hang on. You remember, like, there is the history of Kane and Bray Wyatt in that Inferno match, which he never really got his own back for.
which
That
no one remembers.
That's what I mean.
Okay.
The closest thing to Kane, right? The closest last memory is Rollins fucking up his leg. So I understood that. That is clear. He's back for revenge. He had to go to get his mask or whatever to make sure he reinvigorated his career and so on. Maybe Big Show needs to do the same with the singlet. But yeah, it is what it is. He's back, and it's gonna be a filler program, which is okay, but my question is, what happens next? Because Sheamus comes out, gonna cash in. I knew that shit weren't gonna go down, and Kane did what he had to do. But Belmont, will Sheamus successfully, keyword successfully, cash in?
Not anytime soon, no. I think this is a stepping stone for the Triple H feud, which they should have done about 3 months previous to this.
So you're saying he's not gonna win? He's not gonna win it?
No.
Right, good, because I don't want him to win it, and I don't think it's good for the business if he does win it, because there is nothing about Sheamus. The new character, all he's done is change his hair and his beard, and that's it, and he's just the same,
Same bloke, yeah.
Same
no
guy.
one really cares. Like you said, no one's bothered.
So
Yeah, do you notice with Sheamus, like night after WrestleMania, when they had that whole Daniel Bryan Intercontinental Champion thing, it was to be him and Ziggler, and then like heel Sheamus came in and started just battering lumps out of everyone. That was quite interesting. But as time's gone on, he's kind of forgotten he's a heel. And he's just gone back to, fellow now, me boy, Guinness. And you're like, so are we cheering you? Or when you're feuding with Randy Orton, who's the good guy? And does anybody care?
no,
I was a bit concerned by the reaction he got when he went out with the suitcase, so...
This guy is just so bland. He's just like...
Not exactly Dolph Ziggler at Raw, is it?
No.
There needs to be major light put on some of these superstars, man, to make us actually believe that something's going to happen, because some of these guys get pushed, some of these guys go back down, and it's just like, we're just built not to care, because it's just like they get pushed and then they're back down again. I mean, Cesaro, he got put in the fucking Barry Horowitz mode. What the hell?
I was going to say, like, he's the 21st century Val Venus, isn't he? There's like... He's so good. Like, there's that amazing gauntlet match that Bryan had about 2 years ago, and it was like somebody and then Cesaro and then Big Show. And that second round with Bryan and Cesaro, when they were both like going ROH style, that if I were Vince and I was watching that, I'm like, that guy's in our main event because he can go and he's insanely good. And, he's a perfect example of Vince being completely stupid on that Austin podcast. Where like Vince is going, they won't go for the brass ring, pal. And you're like, well, if you keep cutting like the dude's moves and his personality, and you take away the big swing, then yeah, he ain't gonna get over because you've just removed all the things that got him over in the first place. And now he's just like that match he had with Kevin Owens at SummerSlam was amazing. That was a 2-man match. I don't care what anyone says about that. And for Cesaro just to like be Val Venusing every week to someone who they want to get over, like. Him and Ziggler need to create a new brass ring club. Like, the guys who are amazing just being wasted in stupidity.
Oh, man. All right, let's continue on with our shit. Owens is the new IC champ. But yeah, thank God indeed. He's been a breath of fresh air coming onto the roster. He is basically just Kevin Steen in Owens' name, basically. And it's great to see that, and that WWE have allowed him to do that. The one thing that bugs me, though, is the fact that they brought him in at such a high-profile stage, at such a main event stage, and then just kind of just put him back down. They should have carried on with that and had him be up there, and then we would have had another main event kind of start. But nevertheless, he has the IC title. Nevs, how should they book Owens as the IC champ now? Because we're led to believe that he'll probably he may get the Ziggler run.
In that position, I think I would look at the roster and I'd say, okay, clean slate. We got Ziggler, we got Owens, we got Cesaro, we got Dean Ambrose, right? That's 5 guys. And what you could do with the Intercontinental title is make it as legitimate a title as Cena has made the US title, where you just make that title be the main event on SmackDown. Where like if Rollins can't defend, then you put those guys on and just say, pretend you're at ROH, go for 20 minutes and run with it and go nuts. And Owens in that position, having the mouth that he's got, having the ability that he's got, and having that that incredible ability to heel troll the audience at any given second. You can build him being the IC champion with a significant a run as a Bret Hart or a Mr. Perfect or a Shawn Michaels. You just got to let them go and have the time and not like go, we're going to create these guys to have a run, but then if John Cena needs someone to job out to make himself look strong, we'll just destroy them. You go with that, you've got a legitimate Intercontinental title match going on SmackDown, you've got the US title match going on Raw, and you create new guys who can be in the main event picture, which has been the main problem with the WWE for the last, 15, 20 years? That Owens in that position is perfect.
Should Owens hold the belt for close to a year?
Yeah, no reason why not.
Honky Tonk Man run, do 15 months.
Yeah, Honky Tonk Man run, definitely. And then have Baron Corbin come in as the Ultimate Warrior and fucking... All jokes aside. It's well done to Owens anyway, man. He deserved this, and hopefully he gets a good run with it, a good long run, and hopefully, it's the start of something new. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that when it comes to the point where he's been champion for a long time and he's like, I've beaten everyone on the main roster, blah, 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 Sami Zayn's music hits, and we got one hell of a feud.
Yeah. Brilliant.
All right.
And you thought of Sami Zayn. Yeah, that's genius. He's not back till next year, is he?
Mm-hmm. So we can have an extensive run. Sami Zayn. We feel, obviously, IWC, that Sami Zayn versus Owens at WrestleMania would be off the chart for the IC title. But, who knows? I don't think that'll happen. The bookers ain't that smart. Right. So let's talk about the women. The women, not divas. Let's talk about the women. We've been bitching and moaning. I mean, me and Belmont, John Cooper, Spurs Brothers, we've been going in so hard on this Divas Revolution bullshit. So I won't go too hard on it again, but we'll just talk about the matters at bay, which is obviously the Divas title, not the main event, the title match at Night of Champions. Charlotte beats Nikki. Right decision, Belmont?
Definitely. No, don't.
Right decision. Like the worst move she could have finished the match with, though. Like, the story of the match is she's tweaked her knee, right? The whole story is Nikki's going like a shark on that busted knee. So how does she win the match? She props her leg up in the figure eight. And you're like, really? Surely any other move that didn't involve her leg would have made more sense.
Dude, I thought that was a layup for Bow Down to the Queen. That's what I thought. I thought that was a layup because at the end of the day, the leg, it's like, oh no, what move can she do? Here comes Bow Down to the Queen, natural selection or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Done, So I feel you on that one.
I see. I know Jim disagrees with this. I thought the story of the Divas of the Week was that what looked like the most random promo from Paige, where it looked like she was just told, like, just kind of devalue Charlotte's win a bit in front of her dad, and she went off on everything.
She went in. And,
I started calling her CM Page, because that...
It was nowhere near that level. It was nowhere near that level.
No, I disagree. For the position that she's in, she's obviously got to keep a degree of, not getting fired, because she's not in the position that Punk was in, where he didn't care. They could have fired him on the day, and he wouldn't have cared. But Paige wants to keep her job, presumably. She's about to get married. But, she was open enough about what was going on and blowing the whole oh yeah, that the Bellas are shagging John and Daniel.
That was
and
great.
Charlotte, you can't really wrestle, but you're here because of your dad in front of her dad.
Oh, Becky Lynch was one of the worst ones. Oh, you're irrelevant. You're the underling. Yeah, but that's what's happening.
You're not even relevant to anything.
That's what's happening though. Look at her. Look at how she came in. Look at her. She is always coming out with the rest of them, and she seems like the underling. She's always with some. Why can't they let her just run by herself? She's always like someone's lackey.
She's the Irish Alicia Fox.
Oh, Dave, you said it, bruv. You said it. But
I can see torches and pitchforks going towards where you are right now, Nevs. Do you know that? You're not wrong.
Stone him.
Break the factions up and let's do this properly. For fuck's sake. Why is Sasha still part of that team bad?
And really clever. Do you know what I mean? If you follow her Twitter, she's usually the funniest person at the WWE, tweeting any given night of a pay-per-view. It's just let her be her. And she's into weird geeky things like dinosaurs and steampunk and stuff. But don't reduce her character to that so she just comes out going, I'm wearing Doctor Who goggles or some shit. Just let her be funny. Like, if Blue Pants can get over, I don't even know what the fuck Blue Pants gimmick is. I still can't work it out. I'm like, what are you except for, like, a Poundland wrestler?
That's pretty much it. A Poundland wrestler making loads of money on NXT.
He said a Poundland wrestler.
It's true, though.
She's a discount diva, man. I don't get what she's for. But, like, Becky, there's potential there, and they're just ruining it.
Yeah, massive potential. But then, again, we go to what we talked about before, a couple of weeks ago. These ladies should have came in by themselves. This is where Bayley benefits. She's going to come in by herself. Like, I just don't get it. Individual highlights. You should have the light shined on these women individually, but instead what they did is they went around this big ass route where they're gonna have 3 teams of 3,
Yeah,
and then
why they did it?
Oh man.
Do you know why they did it? It's because the current crop of I'm not even calling them women wrestlers, divas, is so bad that if they let Sasha, Charlotte, Becky, give Paige and possibly Natalya all singles runs, no one will give a shit about the Bellas, Alicia Fox, or any of them.
True.
That's why they did it, to keep them relevant.
Total divas, I fucking hate you.
That's why they did it, and I hope they break them up soon so they see the error of their ways and sort this out.
As soon as I saw Charlotte get the win, I had the story for Raw sorted out. I knew exactly where they should go with this, right? Because what is Flair there for, except to be, like, basically crying on cue? You know what I mean? It's like, here comes Flair, there'll be some crying, and then he'll say something about the 4 Horsemen, and then he'll forget his lines because he's a bit drunk, yada yada. But what if Nikki comes out the next night on Raw, right? And is like, do you know what? I lost the title, fair enough, but I was a champion for a year, so I get a rematch. But I'm knocking about with Alicia Fox and Brie Bella, neither of whom have got any particular pedigree in this thing. I need proper training. I need, like, the person who ran WCW and was the dirtiest player in the game. Ric Flair, I will get rid of all of your alimony problems because my boyfriend is John Cena. If you train me to wrestle Charlotte at Survivor Series, boom, done. Do you know what I mean?
Ric Flair turned heel on his own daughter.
It's Ric Flair. Do you know what I mean? Like, he might be doing the Stan Lee of wrestling now, but you can go look through Flair's history. He's got some nasty stuff going on there. And it's a good use of Flair rather than just, boo-hoo, elbow drops his wallet. You know what I mean?
Interesting.
Interesting indeed. But apart from that, how do we make this work now? Okay, we've now got a new champ, which is meant to signal the Divas Revolution. So how do we make this work, Belmont? How do we get to a point where we forget this shit happened and it's a fresh start and we are going to get some real decent matches?
Well, hopefully they slowly start to dissolve these groups without making too much noise about it, and then we can finally start getting some pay-per-view matches between Sasha and Charlotte and Becky and Charlotte or whoever in that little group to create interest so women's wrestling matches aren't piss breaks on the main roster. Because on NXT takeovers, they're phenomenal. Bayley and Sasha, I'll just leave that there. That's what they need.
Listen, they are gonna tear it up. They are gonna tear the shit up next. I think it's next week or whenever it is. They are gonna tear the shit up, and I cannot wait. Like, it's such a bipolar project. They get one thing on one hand and another thing on another, and I just don't get how don't you make it work? It's just weird. It's so weird. I don't get how on a Saturday you can have a match like that, and on a Sunday you have a match like that, and then on a Monday you have some bullshit happening. I just don't get it. Either way, we're gonna have this debate for ages and ages until we see something different. But the natural thing that should happen now is obviously we're gonna have some kind of a Paige Charlotte feud. But I mean, it should be going to Paige. Charlotte and Sasha Banks. That's what we should be doing. If they're gonna bring the shit back properly, that's where we should be going.
Paige needs to take a back seat. How many title challenges did she have within this past year already? This is a problem in a nutshell. They're not bringing in new people to bring out these matches to raise the prestige of titles. Paige doesn't need another title match. Exactly. Go away. Exactly. Take Nikki with you.
Oh man, Sorry, carry on, Nevs.
The thing that strikes me is I don't think people really wanted Charlotte to win so much as they didn't want Nikki to be champion, right? And now that is over, the thing to do is let Charlotte bring up her natural heelness that should come about from being, Ric Flair's daughter. And then that's your position where the fans start going, actually not too fond of Charlotte. We want Sasha. And then you just let the natural, organic Sasha versus Charlotte, with Charlotte as heel, accompanied by Nature Boy Ric Flair, evolve. And, you know, you just let that build up, and then you start the proceedings at Royal Rumble. So at WrestleMania, you know, you got Sasha versus Charlotte backed by Ric Flair.
Then we can actually have a good women's wrestling match for the first time in about, 11 years for WrestleMania?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to see, like, fucking some, you know, Divas Battle Royal shit. No. They should build up a match to such elevation where it's Charlotte or whoever's the champion at the time versus Sasha Banks, and they just steal the show. They just absolutely knock it out of the park. And I hope we get that, but you know what the bookers are like. We never know what's gonna happen.
No, but it's a step in the right direction. We can say that much, can't we?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk about NXT a bit later, so we'll get into the new divas and the divas that are shit on there. But at the same time, what I want to, hey, you know this shit. But all I'm going to say, I turned on E the other day and I saw fucking Barbie Blank, aka Kelly Kelly, on this TV show called Wags. Now you know who needs to go on that show. Fuck off, get off WWE and go and join her on that shit, because right about now you ain't doing anything relevant on the TV that I want to see. All right, so yeah, you know who I'm talking about, Bellas. You know who I'm talking about. Take Alicia Fox with you. Sorry. Oh, and Summer Rae. Yeah. Just get off, man, because you lot ain't doing anything noteworthy right now. At the end of the day, Total Divas is fake. The only real thing is the relationships. That's it. What actually is happening in them, that's fake. You really think that fucking anyway, I'm not even going to go into it.
Total Divas cause more harm than good.
Exactly. Let's move on to this shit. Chris Jericho, Nevs. He returns Night of Champions as a special partner. We all thought it was that fan that jumped in dressing up like the Shield. What the fuck was that all about? Security has been so shit. All these guys have been coming in, fucking walking down the ramp with Rollins. Like, all these fans be doing off-key shit. Like,
it's always with the Shield, right?
Yeah.
Have you noticed that? Like, there's guys running up when Seth Rollins is coming in, or when Dean Ambrose is mucking about, or some dude launching a Money in the Bank briefcase at, like, Roman Reigns' head. Like, how does nobody see that coming? Like, oh, look, there's a dude walking over with a brightly lit briefcase. That's going to end well. We shouldn't stop that in any way, shape, or form.
Man, we had so Jericho came back. It was a big enough name, obviously, to partner with them. The guy getting in the ring just messed up the pop a little bit. But at the same time, you know, it was good to have him back for this one-off. But that's it. It was a one-off. And the heel turn, what did that mean? Because he didn't turn up on Raw either.
It's tough to say with Jericho. Like, the only reason I could really see for him coming back is that there is some history with Jericho and the Wyatts, so that makes sense. I kind of thought, well, all right, it's a cheap pop and stuff, and down the line you can set up a feud with Jericho and Ambrose for, oh, do you remember when he shoulder barged you for no real reason after he lost the match? But no, see, my first thought was get Eric Rowan on there, because we don't know why Eric Rowan's not in the Wyatts anymore, but he would have been more interesting. And, you know, Harper versus Rowan, for me, is an interesting match. But I was like, all right, I guess it's Chris Jericho. Sure, why not? Gives him something to do when he's not promoting the new album or the podcast, you know?
Oh, man. Well, Jericho, it was good to have you back, no matter how quick it was. But with this on Raw, I mean, Belmont, at the beginning of Raw, they started with Reigns, Ambrose, and the Wyatts, basically, you know, scrapping. We had Reigns having some kind of a decent little promo, I suppose. I mean, everyone's kind of gone flat on him. He's more of a mid-card talent. I don't think he could be a superstar, but I don't think he's got the minerals. And Orton returns also. Real quick, I thought he was going to be out for a while, but he returns nevertheless. So obviously this looks like it's probably going to go to another 3-on-3 match at Hell in a Cell.
Most likely.
Woohoo!
But as far as Reigns goes, you're right. He's gone flat. And the problem is he's taken Ambrose with him. So I'm not hot on this feud. I wasn't hot on the feud anyway. And that Braun Strowman's so green, it's not even funny.
Oh man, talk about a guy that needs to singe in a submission, man.
Someone who shouldn't be there.
Yeah, They should have just brought back nails while they were at it.
Yeah, could you imagine?
Just like a tall, big bloke to fill up space. We couldn't get hold of some make some buy-in. Okay, we'll get Coleman.
I was put in jail for crimes I did not do, boss man. Oh shit!
It's just like, yeah, he's got a beard. Let's get him in.
The same outfit, so you know. Strowman's just kind of blind. He just thinks he's hitting boss man. He's got a bit taller and a bit longer hair.
Oh my god. Let's talk about New Day. Cause
Yes!
New Day
Yes!
rocks.
Yes.
New Day rocks. New Day rocks.
Oh, they're the greatest thing on television.
Aren't
I
they
know
just?
we've got like a move of the week thing, and for me, I'm just gonna blow it now. Every time Consequences Creed picks up that trombone, that is move of the week. I'm sorry, like fucking playing the tune to Rocky, or
That
like
marks out,
everything he does, like having to remove the splinters from my buttocks line. Like I just weep with tears. Or what's his name? Biggie Langston's like celebration at SummerSlam. Everything those guys do is gold. Absolute gold.
Kofi, man. Kofi as well. He's been so, like, it's like a breath of fresh air. This guy's coming and he's just so funny. Like, he's just so funny. Anything to do with New Day, I try and watch now. The Table of Free network special thing. Like, they're just great. They're just great. The trombone, playing Rusev's theme song. I loved it. Yeah.
Like Biggie doesn't have to say anything or do any like attitude when he walks down. He's just got the sign that says "Wait for it," and it spins round and says "Booty." It's like, oh, it's just they kind of remind me for no good reason of Grado, like that meta comedy where they're just like going, "We know we're like never going to get to the main event, so we're just going to take the piss as much as we can," but seem to be getting over by doing it.
We should build a wall, a big wall, all around. He's great, man. He is great. They're all good, and I'm just so glad that this happened organically. They tried to force feed this fucking preacher shit down our throat. It didn't work. They thought, you know what, we need to tweak this a little bit, and tweak away they did. It's been amazing. It's been great, and I just look forward to Raw every week when they come on. Belmont, what did you think about the 3-on-3 anyway on Raw? Obviously, this included Dolph Ziggler and Rusev. We're obviously not very, very high on that Rusev-Ziggler feud. But nevertheless, what did you think of the 3-on-3? There you go.
Yeah, that's all I can say.
I like that.
You're underselling it because there's a beautiful moment when I can't remember someone's like lying halfway out of the ring, so the top of their body's hanging over the mat, right? And Biggie Langston hits that splash on them, which for one was amazing because it was just like this huge fella just dropping. But then Xavier Woods just shouting, "Jesus Jones!" Like.
The fact that the guy's got the balls to go and dress as Rufio. Yeah. A black Rufio. Oh my days. That was just great. That was just great.
Turn into the New Day are the best thing ever tribute shows.
Oh man, with that said, we talked about Cesaro being the Barry Horowitz at the moment, which is very, very sad, very, very sad.
BL level of old reference you're making there.
Oh god, yeah. Well, it is what it is. Have you guys watched JBL's Legends yet?
No.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Is it actually good?
It's really good because JBL does not hold no punches. He's just like, he's talking like locker room stuff that we don't know about, the fact that JBL, like all the big guys, JBL, like Rikishi, Steve Blackman, Ken Shamrock, like all the hard guys were waiting in the car park for WCW to basically have a return on what DX did to them outside of the arena. They were waiting. They thought there was going to be such a repercussion. They were going to wait in the car park for them to scrap. It was so good. You need to watch it, man. Really, really good. I've actually still got part 2 to watch, but JBL's he's done a good job there. He was
interviewing Eric Bischoff, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I will watch that then.
Yeah,
but I wasn't sure because it was JBL. I was like, it could go one or two ways with that guy.
Yeah, no, he did really well, and the fact that they talked about JR, the real shit, the real facts as well about what happened to JR when he left WCW, because JR says he was fired. and and they just kind of went into it. And JBL, he was like, fuck it. He wasn't like, oh, I'm going to be a babyface and just kind of just let you say whatever you want to say. I'm going to ask the questions and basically just turn it upside down, and you're going to have to answer. So, yeah, that was great. He's done what Austin should really do a lot more on his podcast. But nevertheless, that's the end of that. Guys, I want you to give me your match of the pay-per-view. So, Belmont first.
Cena Rollins.
Nice.
By
okay.
a hair.
Nevs?
It is a tough call. I'm going to have to say that. But I genuinely think Seth Rollins is the second coming of Shawn Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
And while there is the danger of over pushing him and stuff, it is between that and the Dudleys match, because I thought that was just really funny. But Cena versus Rollins, like, this is what John Cena should have been doing 2 or 3 years ago, just having the experience to showcase someone who's got that much ability. And Rollins is just astounding to me. He is like the next Shawn Michaels if they're not stupid, if they just let him, don't like overexpose him. They've got someone who could be main eventing for the next 10 years.
Okay, Nevs, who's your pay-per-view MVP?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Who's your pay-per-view MVP?
It's a toss-up between Xavier Woods and Seth Rollins, really. Xavier kept me going through what was actually quite an ordinary match between the New Day and the Dudleys, and Rollins just proved he can improvise in any given situation, because whatever the hell happened to Sting, he never broke, he never ran over and said, like, oh my god, are you okay, or anything like that. He was just like, no, I'm going to keep hitting this guy. So, yeah, Seth, to me, right now, the absolute pinnacle. And to be honest, if they had done what they're doing with Rollins, with CM Punk, maybe they'd be a bit better off right now.
Okay. Belmont, your pay-per-view MVP?
Sting for keep going after that injury.
Okay. Raw rating now, guys. Raw rating out of 10, Belmont. You know how we do.
It's not even good enough to get a 4. I'm going to give it like a fucking 3.
Okay, fair enough. Nevs?
Really? No, I'm on the opposite end of the spectrum. I'd give it like an 8. Do you want to justify it?
Oh, you can do, yep.
All right. Well, one, the page thing is massively fascinating to me, because it says to me they're going, right, what can we do if we don't go with the usual parameters? Because this is still like virgin territory, no pun intended. So, to me, the potential of what's going on in the future of all this is there, and that interests me. The second thing, however, the thing that I can't believe we haven't brought up yet, is the Kane drinking the cup of tea moment. Which was just, like, Kane made that show for me, because, like, we're just going on Tumblr the other day through the various personalities he's had, and that awesome, I don't want to use the wrong phrase here because it'll be offensive to someone, but that bipolar switch where they tried to do it with, what's his name, Abyss a few years ago, but quite badly in TNA.
Joseph Park storyline.
Maybe, like, Corporate Kane and Demon Kane are actually independent of each other. But then that whole delivery in the video package of, like, people you can't imagine, and the second saying of the line, and Seth selling the being dragged into the ring as if he was literally being dragged into hell, and we know he's just, like, going underneath the ring with a big lad in a mask. Like, that was amazing. I was really up for, oh yeah, I hadn't even noticed Brock Lesnar isn't here. Like, I haven't even noticed Paul Heyman hasn't done one of his amazing promos. This is actually, I want to know what happens next, which is very rare for a Raw show for me.
Okay, well, fair enough. There you go, Segheads. He just justified himself. Please let us know your thoughts. Obviously, email us, tweet us, do what you want to do to make sure that we get the information that we need. We will read out all of your feedback, and that's what we're going to now, the Raw feedback. So we have Darren Dyer saying, first time I've watched Raw in a couple of months, and I enjoyed it on the whole. I love what they're doing with Kane. I don't think it's going to be a Joseph Park 2.0, but more of Kane fucking with everyone to get his revenge for being Seth's bitch for months. Not sure why Cesaro is jobbing out to Big Show. Sure, they need to build show up for MSG, but Cesaro is over right now with the momentum. Better to do it with someone like a Jack Swagger. Paige's promo was awesome and told it how it is. Hopefully the rumors about her being in the doghouse for what she said about the Bellas are false. Rating 6.5 out of 10. We also have Master of the Top Rope Elbow, Mr. Steve Dawson, who says, only watch bits and bobs on WWE.com. This is when you know Raw's been shit, when people are watching bits and bobs on WWE.com. Nice to see something different start the show, and it just goes to show that Reigns can be a decent promo when he's being serious. Don't care about Orton's return. He's only been gone 2 weeks. I understand that they need to build Big Show for MSG match with Brock, but why Cesaro? Why not someone no one cares about like Henry? Like the Paige promo, but does this leave Becky as Charlotte's sidekick? Another good Cena Rollins match, but enough now. It's starting to become the new Sheamus versus Orton. Not surprised they went with Kane feud, but really, who gives a rat's ass? The Joseph Park angle rehash from TNA stinks too. We also have editor of Max Wrestling Magazine, Dazzy Lee, says the second tier champion should not be beating the world champion so easily and so often. It's making Rawlins look cheaper than Nikki Bella.
Nice.
Yeah. Sticky Nikki, as he liked to call her. Paige Bomb was absolutely brilliant. Took me a while to get into Kane's spit personality, even though it does reek of infringement. Nice to see what the Wyatts kick off Raw with a great brawl. Gutted Xavier lost the Rufio hair. And last, we have the cookie cutter podcaster himself, Michael Cook. He goes, don't mind Rollins losing, seeing that he was favouring his back all match after being in 2 matches the night before. Paige heel turn, would like to hear whether or not it's true. Sorry, Paige heel turn was brilliant and loved how she said things about the Bellas that the ICW would really like to, whether true or not. I would love to know what Randy Orton's schedule is as he disappears, returns, then disappears, and now he's back again. All right, so we're going to go to a break right now so you can hear from our sponsors. And don't worry, it's not Sherry's Berries or DraftKings.com.
DraftKings.com.
Then we'll be back talking NXT. So don't you miss it, and don't piss off the King of the Mountain, because I am
The Chosen One.
The mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. Net Carrier has many great products and services to increase your bottom line. Be sure to ask your Net Carrier representative about our hosted PBX. Call Net Carrier today for a free analysis of your phone bills. 877-255-7733. That's right, 877-255-7733. Call now.
Let's get it out!
It happens every morning. You watch Raw, and then you react to it. 11:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Every single Monday. Join Tony and Sarah, Harry Broadhurst, and Jimmy Christopher for the Raw Reaction worldwide on the VOC Nation.
The most polarizing personalities worldwide. This is the VOC Nation.
And we're back, people. It's the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast. It's your boy Kinny Killa, episode 131. Can you believe it, people? 131. I am here with Belmont with his Belmont banter. That's right, it's James Belmont. And the debutant, Nevs Coleman. Right, so NXT, guys. We have to start with Eva Marie Belmont. Now,
starting strong.
I know. Segheads, you know I've been tweeting out all these fucking memes about people taking a piss out of Eva Marie. We like to call her the fool, right? That's what we like to call her. Someone got mad when I called her the fool last time. You know, sorry I insulted your intelligence, but she's the fool. That's what she is. She is the fool. So, the fool enters the building. Everyone's shouting, NXT, NXT. As soon as her music hits and her face comes on the Titantron, boo! Right, my missus watches Total Divas sometime. I like to explain to her why the fans hate her so much on NXT. And she just laughs every time I mention it. It's absolutely great to see that shit. But, you know, we try to give her the benefit of the doubt, and she fucks it every fucking time. Nevs, now, how dare she motion the title? How fucking dare she?
Because of your reaction.
There you go.
Do you know what I mean? It's like the WWE have got so smart in the last couple of years, right? They've worked out who we like and who we don't like in a meta way, not just in a who they've tried to train us to cheer and boo, but they've worked out we hate Eva Marie and we really want to see somebody like Ronda Rousey beat the hell out of her, right? So all the time they push her in that incompetent heel position, it builds her up more and more. So we want to see her get slapped down. And at some point, we'll probably see her get slapped down as the NXT champion, and we'll be happy to see it. So we'll pay money for the pay-per-view.
Oh my God.
It's got a hint of old school wrestling booking in there, doesn't it?
It seems like she's... at some point, I thought that she was going to start having, like, a ref on her side, like fucking a la Nick Patrick. Like, I thought she was, you know, the way they were carrying on about the whole ref thing, I thought, like, you know, she's going to get a dodgy ref on her side or something. Like...
Well, don't write it off, because they did acknowledge that it wasn't a kick-out attempt, was it? Last time.
No, what the leg? Yeah.
So they've acknowledged it. They did they might do something with it. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, fucking Jimmy Jacobs back there, just like, yeah, let's do this shit. But Carmella, she took the, you know, obviously she got counted out or whatever. Obviously I think Carmella's better than Eva Marie, but obviously they want to market her as something. She's done the work in the ring, as they say, but it doesn't look good. It doesn't look great. She's still very, very green, and she's in NXT, so it is a developmental territory. So we will give her the benefit.
I'll
of the
give her
doubt.
the benefit of the doubt. She's getting. I'll tell you what. It's a much more enjoyable match than anything Nikki Bella's done the last year. So.
You know what? You know what? I'm not going to agree with that, because I think out of anyone that's improved, right?
Yeah.
She has come on leaps and bounds, Nikki Bella, and I have to give her that shit, because.
What, onto Cena or in the ring?
In the ring.
Oh right, okay.
In the ring, because whether she's been training with Cena or whatever, she's definitely the better out of both. Which is, you know, obviously the worst out of, you know, two rotten eggs or whatever, but it's like she's definitely improved. She's improved better on the mic, she's improved on the ring, and Eva Marie. Well,
at least Eve is trying to work a match.
Yeah.
Nikki doesn't. What is it? A flying enziguri off the turnbuckle, she misses, hits a forearm, hits a rack attack, done.
I like the Bella schedule. I like that.
That's
shit.
it. That's a Nikki Bella match.
Oh man. Right. No Finn Balor or Samoa Joe, apart from right at the end when they're talking about, which was weird. But I'm just looking right now on the dirt sheets, and it looks like Finn Balor is fucking live at NXT the other day. Decided to fucking jump through the roof while doing a coup de grace.
Yeah, through the ceiling.
Went through the fucking ceiling for all intents and purposes. Yeah, it's
I really
just.
thought it was a meme or something. I thought someone superimposed that, but no.
Yeah, it's
there
weird
has
to
to be
see
some kind of breaking the glass ceiling joke in here that we're just not clever enough to come up with.
Yeah. Bullfit. Bullshit. Listen, bullfit. It just looks weird, right? Because Bull Dempsey doesn't look any different, right? Any different. I suppose that's meant to be the joke, but like, bloody hell, man.
Yeah.
Nevs, Breeze should definitely be, you know, somewhere more higher on the card, I feel, shouldn't he? But I suppose he's biding his time. Are you there, Nevs? You there? Okay, maybe some technical difficulties again. Belmont, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here. What was it? Sorry,
Yeah.
what was it again?
Tyler Breeze, he should definitely be, you know, in a better position here, don't you reckon?
Yes, he should be in the title picture, because what they're doing at the moment, throwing him random opponents just to keep him on TV by the looks of it.
It just seems a bit weird. Obviously, he's probably biding his time, because they're going to do, obviously, the Balor and Joe feud, and, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if Balor actually loses the title to Tyler Breeze before he goes up. But, yeah, it's just a bit weird seeing him in these, you know, in these kind of roles. I would like, you know, at the next takeover, obviously, we're going to get Breeze versus Apollo Crews, which seems to be good. What do you reckon, Nevs?
I was watching that Dempsey Breeze match, and I'd noticed how much Breeze sells exactly like drug era Shawn Michaels.
I love our drug era as well. The 97 Shawn Michaels selling.
That period, like 92 to 97, dude's practically tripping off his bollocks in every promo. There's that classic one where he's like in the UK being interviewed by Sonny, and you can see the delirium where always like, Sonny's breasts. Okay, I know where I am now. So Tyler is someone who, if they stop giving him this losing streak and start booking him, that boy has got the potential to be another Dolph Ziggler or something like that. So I'd like it if they maybe didn't just have him as here's the pretty boy everybody wants to hit in the face quite hard, because I get it. But if he was given a bit more ruggedness and a bit more endurance to his character, he looks like he could actually win a fight rather than just being basically a selfie stick and a pair of tights to hit it really hard. You know? I think there's potential there, and I think he can only be the jobber guy so long before he becomes where Dolph Ziggler is now, you know?
I think he'll get. I think he'll get his chance. Just because I think the title on Tyler Breeze, that gimmick itself, it just works so nicely. And you never know. He might be the one to might say, this title's so uggo. I want a new title, and just get a new title. Get a new title belt, his own title belt, like the belt of love in fucking RH, like his his own title belt. That would be quite cool in terms of his gimmick. But nevertheless, NXT on tour, Belmont. They talked a bit about they're traveling to Texas and all that. They're doing Florida, they're doing the UK, they're branding themselves around. How big can NXT go, or how big will Vince allow NXT to go? Because right about now it's looking real sweet.
It could easily go head to head with Raw and probably win with a real wrestling crowd. I'm not talking kids and that who just like the colours and stuff, which they're catering to at the moment, because Raw's whoring itself out to so many masters at the moment they can't actually do a wrestling product, so it sucks.
Whoring themselves out. Whoring themselves out.
Oh, they are, man. So many sponsors and this, that, and the other. It's like, oh man, no wonder you don't get any wrestling on TV for 3 hours.
All right, Nevs, should NXT be taking the USA spot for SmackDown?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
Because giving it that kind of focus means that they're going to need to require more from the wrestlers, and that would mean they'd have to be always as a top level brand. And
and then they come under Vince. Yeah, no, ixnay that, Christian. Ixnay that.
Exactly, stay in their own jurisdiction. Do not go near Vince.
You've got to have that kind of the split between having the really good indie guys that they pick up, like your Finn Balor's, your Samoa Joe's, your Kevin Owens, etc., and having the guys they can train. But once they hit into that upper tier, then there's there needs to be this much level of main eventing stuff, and Vince will invariably decide that Carmella's got his baby, or that Samoa Joe be run over or something. You know what I mean? So as it is, it's fine. I'm actually worried that they're touring too much, because I do worry about if you put them on the main events kind of schedule, you're going to wear out guys really quickly.
Yeah, you're right there.
I might be wrong, but I think go on.
No. I said you're right there. You're right there.
I was just going to say, I think the original schedule was that they'd film 5 or 6 shows back to back at the university, and then they'd have a bit of a break between doing that, so it's a bit easier to deal with. But if they're putting these guys out on the road, the house show experience is good, but the idea is that you're changing the training program so that these guys don't have to break each other up every week and finish at the age of 40, but you train them to wrestle smart, like a Hulk Hogan or a Raven, or Randy Orton, where you can get the match over without necessarily having to put yourself through a table every day of the week, you know?
What's the old phrase, less is more, isn't it?
Indeed. Now, let's talk debuts, because right about now we had a debut of Asuka. Now, I pronounce it Asuka, and William Regal decides to pronounce it as Asuka. Now, who's wrong, who's right? Because right about now it sounds like Asuka, but maybe the way you say is Asuka.
The PS3 game.
Okay.
So that it says it's pronounced Asuka's Wrath when I watched a YouTube video, because I was a bit confused as well. So I'm willing to bet that Japanese video game developers know more than William Regal about how to say a Japanese word, you know?
Oh god, yeah. Oh, okay, we'll stick with Asuka. She looks she's a different look for NXT, for WWE, which is absolutely what they need. We know she can go in the ring. I've been looking at videos to see how she can wrestle, and Bayley Asuka, that match will be just off the chain. So obviously they're trying to big up the women's roster again, which is perfectly what they need to do, with help from one of the best talent scouts in the world right now, William Regal. He's gone far and wide to grab her. I'm looking forward to seeing her debut. Belmont. I mean, on first sight and her interactions with Dana Brooke and Emma. How far do you reckon she can go?
Asuka herself, how far she could go in NXT? Could be champion within 6 months. Easy.
Yeah,
easy. Because Dana Brooke's still not complete yet. She's getting there. She's getting over with me, but there's still something missing. Emma, haven't really cared about even since the heel turn. So
yeah, Dana Brooke, she's got something. She's definitely
she's
got the promo. She's got the bitchy promo thing down.
She's got the character down. She's got all that down. Wrestling work is getting there. Still needs a little bit of tweaking.
Yeah,
she has got something. So hopefully she can use that.
She will end up taking that title, and it'll be good for her when she does take it, because hopefully at the time when she does take it, her wrestling ability will be up there. Right. So Breeze versus Cruz at TakeOver Respect, which would be great. Nevs, the Dusty Road Classic seems to be going on forever.
Yeah. I'm very happy that they've decided to honour Dusty's name and push the notion of tag team wrestling, which is one of those great underlooked things that they've had in the last few years. But yeah, it's kind of like, what was that tournament they did in TNA about 2 or 3 years ago? Was it like Bound for Glory or something like that?
The Bound for Glory thing when they got points for wins.
When they like numbers wrong, so they had to make up matches on the fly and stuff. If it was a yearly thing, great. Okay, have it run from one pay-per-view to another. That's fine. Even if it was like booked like the Lethal Lottery, like WCW used to, where you're forced to work with someone you don't want to work with, that creates an interesting dynamic as well, and then you can create interesting feuds out of that. But you can't run too long with this stuff because people lose track of who's won what and what the eliminations are. Essentially, you just be wanting to doing it over 4 weeks, like a King of the Ring style tournament with,
All right. Well, I mean, the tournament, it's been great for guys like Gable and Jordan. Gable, oh man, I can't praise this guy enough. He's great, man, and he's been working on his promos really, really well. I mean, his in-ring work speaks for itself. Belmont. Those two, do you reckon they should win it?
I don't see why not. But to be honest, I kind of lost track with this tournament. I don't know why.
I do know, because it's gone so long. That's why they're only in the fucking second round.
But I still don't understand why it's a tag team tournament, unless I'm missing the point.
Well, there's no stip like, the winner will be the number one contender or nothing like that.
No.
The tag champs were in and they just got pinned. So, I suppose it's just to honour Dusty.
Which is great. I'm all for that. But a tag team tournament?
Yeah.
I thought it would be like just a singles tournament. They'll just give him a trophy at the end and play Dusty's music and be done with it, really.
They probably had nothing to do, in terms of feuds and so on and so on. So they just band everyone together, and then have this thing, and then it gives them enough time to try and figure out what happens after TakeOver, which I understand. But yeah,
we'll see what happens. The problem is NXT's tag division. There barely is one. There's like 3 or 4 teams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so many throw togethers. That's probably why I've lost interest in it, to be honest.
Main event, we had Vaudevillains versus Baker Murphy. Vaudevillains, I love Vaudevillains. What's your thought on them, Nevs?
Yeah, totally, exactly the same. I was having the chat with Jim down the pub the other day that literally the only wrestlers I've ever seen in Japan, in America, in any decade of history to actually use a Titantron as part of the entrance rather than just to enhance the entrance. Like, the theatricality of them alone, like, it's so irritatingly simple, and yet it's genius at the same time. Just like, you just put a black and white 1920s filter on their entrance, and they play their gimmick so well. Do you know what I mean? They should be taking on guys with mustaches called Big Bully Music or something, and the Gentleman and Ed the Strangler Lewis. It's and they wrestle as if it was like 1923 in Chicago. I totally love it because it's so different, so non-generic. It's like everything Cornette used to say, that they'd call you up from OVW after you had a really good run, and then they'd say you're going to be like the limo driver of doom or some shit, and that doesn't get over for some reason. And then you're like worthless on the indie circuit. But those guys have been given, either they came up with or they've been given this ridiculously simple gimmick, and they've used it long enough to carry them until they had the ring experience to actually be worthy of being in a main event. And there's no position that you can't see them in as a tag team. Yeah, they wouldn't look out of space on SmackDown, they wouldn't look out of space on Raw or on a WrestleMania. They just work, and they're so good. And the contrast of being stuck with Blake and whoever the other guy is, that's how bland they are. I can't remember the other guy's name.
Simon Gotch.
No, the opposing guy.
Oh, Blake and Murphy, sorry.
Is it Blake and Murphy?
Blake and Murphy, one of the
Wesley
most
Blake.
generic, boring tag teams in creation.
I genuinely thought one of them was called Blake Murphy, and the other one I just didn't know what his name was.
Wesley Blake and I want to say Brian Murphy, but I don't think it's Brian Murphy.
Yeah, there's a contest. Name the other guy in that tag team.
That could be a weekly segment, easy.
Yeah.
The Leaf Cassidy of NXT, if you
want. Oh my god. Oh my. He said the Leaf Cassidy. The new rockers. Don't.
Like Coco Beware without the charisma.
Oh yeah. I hate Blake and Murphy. I don't understand what. Yeah, it is what it is. But Vaudevillains went over. They are the tag champs. I catch myself every now and again walking past the mirror and going, "'Cause we are manly," and doing a manly pose. The Aiden English one with the, with the one hand behind the back and the one hand up, clenching the fist, and I fucking love it. I mean, Aiden English, he's got a track record of going through the gimmicks really well, especially the singing gimmick. When he started that, I thought, Aiden, you've done your fucking your homework, and you come great. Like, loved it, and they've thrown the roses and shit. Yeah, that's what you call fucking gimmick homework right there. All right, that's the end of NXT. Right, so right about now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna go on to Shug's Stunners. Right, so Jobber of the Week, I believe, has to go to who should I put as Jobber of the Week?
Cesaro.
Oh yeah, it's got to be on it.
Gotta be.
Fuck.
I don't understand. Squash that feud of Kevin Owens really quick, and then he's losing to Big Show. Just what?
Cesaro.
I bring in a sideways contender.
Go on.
The flag that Tanahashi Hiroshiri was waving at the end of G1 Climax. Have you seen this footage yet?
No.
Tanahashi's there, and he's like one, and all the confetti's coming down, and the crowd are popping crazy, and he's waving this like 6-foot flag around, and then at the end of this huge pay-per-view, the flagpole cracks.
Oh yeah, no, I did see that. What am I talking about?
Drops to the ground, and he's just like, oh my God, he's just like so embarrassed, and he's just putting the thing together. That flag was Jobber of the Week.
That flag's part of the JOB squad.
Yeah, Job squad. All right, we'll give it to Cesaro. Move of the week has to be. Oh man, move of the week. I mean, the trombone, the Rusev theme song on the trombone. I mean, it seems like Xavier Woods has been taking over move of the week for the last couple of weeks. I mean, what can match that? I mean, some Rollins moves. The superlex off the top rope into the Falcon Arrow. I don't know.
I've got to go with, like, it is a Rollins thing, but the thing I'm really liking about Rollins is from pay-per-view to pay-per-view, he's adding one more, like, really big historical move. So he's put the Falcon Arrow in, and he's put the Eddie Guerrero Frog Splash in. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but Night of Champions, he put in Hiroshiri's Sling Blade Clothesline, and he does it really well. So I'm going to go with that, just because I like where he's going with all this.
What about Rollins the superplex and then rolled through and did another suplex after that?
Yeah, that
was sick.
The superplex into the Falcon. Yeah, I think I love that one. Wait, we just all right. We'll put that down. Falcon. All right.
Rollins is a freak, man. That strength that must take. It's that CrossFit stuff he's doing, isn't it?
I mean, he even did the fucking Cena roll through. What the hell?
That's what I mean. He's about half his size.
Wrestler of the week. I'm gonna give it to fucking I'm gonna give it to Rollins. The guy wrestled 3 matches in 24 hours. Yeah, I gotta give it to Rollins, man. He's a freak, man. I gotta give it to Rollins.
I'm not gonna argue with that.
Gotta give it to Rollins. Rollins wrestler of the week. My man Rollins taking that shit down. Right. Segway time machine. Let's listen. Oh, sorry. Let's see what's happened in the world of wrestling on the 27th of September. And years gone by. Let's have a look. So, Razor Ramon won the IC title. Shinsuke Nakamura won the IWGP heavyweight title. We also have Samoa Joe winning the TNA TV title. Let's also have a look. Let's see what happened on Monday Night Raw, which was episode 33 in 1993. Now this is how bad it started off, guys. We had Rick the Model Vartel versus Tatanka, which ended in a double countout. Right? We had Ludwig Borga right, defeating Phil Apollo. Don't know who that shit is. Jimmy Snuka defeating Paul Van Dale, and the main event was a tag team title match between the Quebecers defeating the 1-2-3 Kid, Baby X-Pac, and Barry Horowitz.
Yes!
The fucking Red Knight from Survivor Series 93.
Wow.
All right, let's go into the main Monday Night Raws, and let's Monday Night Wars and see. Right, so 99 Raw is War, episode 331. This got a fucking 6.8 rating. 6.8. Right, now we had Big Show defeating Chris Jericho via disqualification. We had the European champion D'Lo Brown defeating Steve Blackman. We also had the tag team title match, the New Age Outlaw defeating X-Pac and Kane via disqualification. We had a 2-on-1 handicap evening gown match. Fabulous Moolah and Mae Young defeating Ivory. We had Chyna and Deborah defeating Tom Pritchard and Jeff Jarrett. And then we had WWF title match, Rock versus the champion Triple H, ending in a no contest. Don't know what happened. But on the other end, we had Monday Nitro, which did 3.0, solid 3 million. All right.
I can't imagine where this is going.
WCW.
Well, the Texas Rednecks, at least tell me that.
All right, I'll get to that.
Disco Inferno had to be involved.
Right, let's do this. Right. WCW World Television title match. Chris Benoit defeated Ernest the Cat Miller. Buff Bagwell, buff because he's the stuff, defeating Vampiro. Rey Mysterio defeating Dean Malenko in a fucking 3-minute match. Bill Goldberg defeating Hugh Morris. Berlin, which I believe is fucking Bertha Faye, defeating Evan Courageous. WCW World Tag Team titles. We had Stevie Ray, Booker T, Harlem Heat defeating the West Texas Rednecks, Barry Windham and Kendall Windham.
Oh my god!
We had right 10 matches on this card, right? 10 matches. We had Rick Steiner defeating Van Hammer. We had Conan defeating Perry Saturn via disqualification. Mask versus hair match. Billy Kidman defeating Psychosis, which meant fucking Psychosis lost his mask.
Blasphemy.
Yeah,
and then we had the wrestlers, the worst thing.
And then we had the 3-on-2 handicap match. Bret Hart and Ric Flair defeating Diamond Dallas Page, Lex Luger, and Sting via disqualification.
All right, most of that card's the wrong way up.
Sure, why not?
Yeah. And that's the Segway time machine, as I believe there's no one of note that has a birthday on this day. So right about now, we're going to go into RIP SmackDown in 60 seconds. We're going to talk briefly about Brock versus Taker. Now, guys, start with you, Belmont. How do you feel about the way they announced the main event for Hell in a Cell?
Well, it was surprising, but kind of is low-key the right way to describe it? Just saying, oh, they're going to have a match at Hell in a Cell.
I mean, that's how we found out. No build-up.
Yeah, it was
no
Paul
nothing.
Heyman advert, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Just Paul Heyman saying, oh, yeah, they're going to do, Brock's going to be beating the crap out of Big Show, and then he's going to be on the podcast, and he's going to be he's going to be facing Taker at Hell in a Cell.
The Road to Hell tour.
That was it. That was just, okay, all right. I'm not really bothered about the match anyway, but cool.
I'm genuinely worried about this match because, I'm like, is the Taker going to live through this? Seriously. Like,
I've said that the last 2 times he's been in the ring with Brock Lesnar, and somehow he survived.
Yeah, but there wasn't a cell before, and, this could be Sting all over again.
Could be,
could
but
be.
it's up to Taker.
But what's noteworthy from this, Nevs, is these guys will not be facing at WrestleMania. So, who is Brock facing and who is Taker facing at WrestleMania?
I would go with John Cena at this point.
For Taker, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Jesus.
Well, he hasn't fought him yet. That makes sense. But what happens for Brock? Who could it be?
Rock, Austin,
Rock ain't coming.
No,
Austin
Austin
said he ain't
shot
coming.
it down.
Yeah, but see, Austin, why would Austin do that for real? Like, I regard every single one of these things, interviews outside the business, as a work. There's no way Austin's just to say, oh yeah, I'm definitely not doing it. Yeah. And mean it. Do you know what I mean?
Well, he
like, why would you tell a dirt sheet your plans when you could just say, yeah, I was bullshitting them, I'm wrestling Brock Lesnar, but announce it when you want to announce it?
Well, look at Lesnar's moveset and look at Austin's neck.
Yeah, but look at the pay-per-view buy rates. Do you know what I mean? They're not going to say, like, to Brock, oh yeah, do what you want to Steve Austin because we don't care. They'll work a match around what Austin's physiology is like at the time, you know?
Yeah, well, they obviously have something up their sleeve, and I really want to know what it is, because right about now, there ain't no one that's going to have, like, the notoriety to, you know, have a match with him at WrestleMania and make it something big, because as Brock says, he's a prize fighter, you know what I mean? He gets paid for that shit, so it's got to be someone big.
You say that. How much did we care about Reigns versus Lesnar until Heyman started mouthing off? And then once we got through those Heyman promos, Heyman can build anyone for WrestleMania.
Yeah, but
Heyman
cared.
can give salt to salt.
Heyman could build Horowitz.
Yeah, but us as an IWC, we cared because we knew that fucking Reigns was going to get his ass handed to us.
Well, no, I was interested in it. I wasn't part of that hate brigade. So I was actually like, you know, this could be really physical, could actually be really good. And it turned out it was actually better than a lot of people thought it was going to be.
The hate brigade.
It was, because that Royal Rumble thing, that wasn't his fault, and he just took all the heat for it. It was, whatever.
Yeah, he did take the heat. I mean, Shugs has some words for this guy. But
I'm sure he's got more than one.
yeah. Okay, interesting. All right, well, right about now, it's going to be time for the 10 count. It is time for Nevs to run the 10 count. Now, Nevs, Belmont has run this shit, right? And I'll tell you what score he's got. Because right about now, the highest score is 8. Okay, and Belmont No. Belmont's got 4.
I did the Bret Hart.
Right?
Got 4 out of 10.
He's got 4. All right. So you have 10 seconds to name as many answers in the chosen category as you can. Can you please choose category A, B, or C? B. Okay. You have WWE factions. Can you please name as many WWE factions that's 3 or more people in 3, 2, 1, go.
Nation of Domination, The Shield,
Yep.
DX, the NWO, Los Barricas, the Hart Foundation, 4 Horsemen.
Stop.
Oh, 7. I want them to break that 8.
7. Ooh. Nevs, that was close, dog.
Damn, I shouldn't have taken a breath.
That's what happened, though. That's what happens, though. It's what happens when people take the breath.
Yeah.
Like, it happens, man. It happens. All right, 7. You're on the leaderboard. You're near the top. That's good. Right. And it's the end of the show, people. And what a show it has been. I want to thank, Belmont for obviously coming on the show. And let the people know where they can find Offshoot and where they can find you on the Twitter.
Wait, Kinny. Wait. I didn't get a chance to do my Randy Savage impression.
You will in a minute.
All right. I didn't know.
He's got it locked and ready. He's ready.
I've been practicing.
Control yourself.
I know. Hold on, man. Don't shoot the gun. Yeah, Belmont, let the people know where they can find you on Twitter.
@Dex2001's my personal profile, and Offshoot Radio for the latest on the show.
All right.
That evil
now,
I hate it most of the time, but carry on.
Now, Nevs, okay. Before you give the people your Twitter handle, please, can you give us your best Macho Man impression, please?
Woo, yeah! He's got a bicycle! He's coming for you!
I like that. Nevs, that was decent, man. I'll give you an 8 for that one. 8 out of 10.
An 8?
That was good. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
That was good. Because Bonesaw is ready. All right. Can you let the people know where they can find you on the Twitter, my friend?
Sure, you can find me in 2 places. One, you can find me on my personal Twitter, which is just @FilthyNevs, one word. Also, you can find the shop I work at, which is over in Hackney in East London, which is @RayGunEast. So I'm normally at the shop pretty much every day of my life. So if you tweet me there, or if you tweet me @FilthyNevs, you'll get hold of me for whatever reasons you want.
Great. And that's the end of the show. Next week, it's Segue on tour, people. Segue on tour. It is the second Segue meetup. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Darren Dyer. It's going to be the one James Beaumont. It's going to be Billy the Mark Johnson. And it's going to be the Butcher 69 Dave Gillum, all getting together to go on a road trip to Reading, to Rev Pro, to watch the New Japan versus UK show, Global Wars. It is going to be off the chart. We are going to probably film some stuff to go up on YouTube, so watch this space. I'll probably take a free count on a fucking Toby Carvery floor, so don't watch that shit. It's going to be going down, people. Don't watch that. And track of the week this week is going to be Drew McIntyre, not Drew Galloway, Drew McIntyre, the chosen one. And if you don't like that, you can choke on that, slap nuts. Woo!
What's that metronome I hear? Perhaps the end is drawing near. You never hear the shot that takes you down.